Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, good to have you join us on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Gift or Gete. In our major story, former Kaduna State Governor Balarabe Musa blames the ruling PDP and opposition APC for Nigeria's lack of progress. Also in this program, the All Progressives Congress strongly condemns acts of intolerance by Gombe Governor Ibrahim Hassan over victimization of its members in the state. Pengasson scribe Bayo Olushile says suspended oil worker strike was staged in the interest of Nigerians. And outside Nigeria, Chinese President Xi Jinping warns Hong Kong and Macau to remember that they are part of one China as pro-democracy campaigners in both semi-autonomous territories call for free leadership elections. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Now, details of the headlines and other stories. A former governor of Kaduna State and leader of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, Balarabe Musa, said on Saturday that the future of Nigeria under the present administration of President Goodluck Jonathan-led government is gloomy. The former governor noted that the way this country was being governed showed that Jonathan was incapable of running the affairs of Nigeria, arguing that even the president's sympathizers had come to terms with the reality. Musa, who claimed that neither the All Progressives Congress nor the People's Democratic Party could produce the president in 2015, said his party, the People's Redemption Party, though deregistered by INEC, had gone into mega with other political parties to form the next government. The leader of the CNPP, who is the national chairman of the deregistered People's Redemption Party, spoke to journalists during a meeting with 26 state executive committee members of the party on Saturday in Kaduna. He said there was no difference between the PDP and the APC, urging Nigerians to reject them as none of the parties were credible enough to take Nigerians to the promised land. He added that PRP had since instituted legal action against the Independent National Electoral Commission for deregistering the party. The All Progressives Congress has strongly condemned the act of intolerance by Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Hassan Dakwambo, who the party says has been working hard to obliterate the APC presence and also victimize its members in the state. In a statement issued in Lagos on Saturday by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, the party said the governor's actions when he visited Kashere, the hometown of his predecessor Danjuma Goje, on Thursday, were despicable and barbaric and should be condemned by all right-thinking people. Dankwambo, according to the APC spokesman, personally ordered the removal of all parties' billboards and posters in the town, ordered the police and the army to break into Goje's family house, where they broke down doors, tear gassed and arrested his relations, including children. The APC described as a cruel irony the fact that the PDP, which has been busy criticizing the APC for filing an old man as a presidential candidate, is home to a man who was born in post-independent Nigeria but has chosen to behave like a 19th century emperor. The worry over godfatherism in Nigeria politics may not die anytime soon as politics gather momentum ahead of the 2015 general elections. Some seasoned politicians have been accused of using their towering influences to position their words as candidates for various elective positions on the platforms of their parties. One of them is the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Lai Mohammed, who was accused of using his position to ensure that his son, Falajimi, picks the party's ticket as candidate to contest the Lagos House of Assembly election in 2015. Even though the APC spokesman has repeatedly denied taking advantage of his position for the benefit of his son, it appears there is more work to be done to convince the majority that Falajimi merited the party's candidacy for the Lagos House Assembly election. The son of the APC spokesman says he is a man of his own and his emergence on the scene has nothing to do with leveraging on his father's political strength. He also assured Lagosians of total commitment.
It's a double-edged sword. I'm enjoying it, and I'm not enjoying it. Everything is dynamic, it changes. As the issues come, we will tackle it. As the change needs to be, we will implement it. However, right now, what is very peculiar about my situation and my constituency is just one single thing: poverty. And to the best of my ability, I'll try to alleviate it.
Popular gospel artist Kenny Sense Brown, who also contested with Falajimi, denied being financially induced but claimed to have stepped down for him in order to support his
Right now, I cannot serve in the legislative arm, I can still serve in the executive. So I feel, and that's why I came to support you. I came to tell him that his outcry is my outcry, which is social development.
UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has expressed solidarity with the government and people of Nigeria, Pakistan and Yemen in their fight against terrorism. Ki-moon, in a message in New York, also expressed his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims who lost their lives in the terror attacks in the countries. The Secretary General said he was dismayed by and strongly condemned the pattern of attacks against innocent civilians, including women and children, by militant groups and terrorists. There had been appalling killings in Nigeria, Yemen and Pakistan. The perpetrators of the despicable act of violence, according to the UN scribe, must be brought to justice. United States says it remained committed to helping the federal government in tackling the threat of Boko Haram and other extremist organizations to the country. This is contained in a statement issued by the Public Affairs Department of the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. It says the U.S. government has also restated its commitment to support Nigeria's efforts to rescue the abducted Chibok girls and all others who have been abducted in various communities, particularly condemned in the strongest terms the attack on Gumsuri village, Borno, which was reported to have been perpetrated by Boko Haram. It expressed concerns that this year alone Boko Haram had murdered thousands of innocent people in vicious attacks on schools, churches and mosques. According to the statement, Boko Haram attacks have resulted in displacement of hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. The Adamawa Governor, Balangilari, has presented the 2015 budget proposal to the State House of Assembly. The budget, which is over 100 billion naira, was tagged Budget of Consolidation and Hope.
Again, the backdrop of the falling oil prices in the international market, which is seriously affecting our share of revenue from the Federation account, it is imperative that we start laying emphasis on the non-oil revenue sectors of our economy as a matter of priority. This will definitely reduce our overdependence on the Federation account. And to actualize this statutory responsibility, we definitely call for collective action plan in identifying additional revenue sources, particularly the untapped ones that the state is not currently enjoying. As a result of this, our Board of Internal Revenue, that is saddled with statutory responsibility, will be fully supported to act in this direction for full results. Exploitation of our rich mineral deposits will be pursued with vigor.
In his response, Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Umaru Fintiri, advised the executive arm of government to take internally generated revenue seriously due to the dwindling global prices of oil. He ordered that the State House of Assembly is doing all it could to block our revenue loopholes.
As the executive arm of government, with the dwindling price in the oil, particularly that it is now less than $60 per barrel, we take our IGR seriously. Work of the House of Assembly, particularly the outstanding committee on appropriation of finance.
It's CoreTV Prime Time News. Pengasun Scribe says recent oil workers' strike in the country was staged in the interest of Nigerians. Find out how after this break. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Here's a quick reminder of some of our major headlines. Former Kaduna State Governor Balarabe Musa blames the ruling PDP and opposition APC for Nigeria's lack of progress. The All Progressives Congress strongly condemns acts of intolerance by Gombe Governor Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo over victimization of its members in the state. Pengasun Scribe Bayo Oloshile says suspended oil workers' strike was staged in the interest of Nigerians. It's CoreTV Prime Time News. Do not forget that you can also reach us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV News. Following the 13-hour talk between the striking oil workers, which culminated in the suspension of the recent strike, President Goodluck Jonathan issued a stern warning to organized labor to stop using industrial action to punish Nigerians. In what appears a direct response to the president's warning, the General Secretary of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Bayo Oluoshile, says the suspended oil workers' strike was surely an issue-based action meant to salvage the people of the country from lingering poverty. Motayo Law took him up on development surrounding the suspended strike and brought back this report presented from our studios.
The dwindling global oil prices have more than enough exposed the underbelly in the Nigerian economy, which is largely dependent on oil. The nation has over time been bedeviled with unceasing strikes which, most often than necessary, leave the people suffering over fuel scarcity. The Pangasan chieftain Bayo Oluoshile admitted that the effect of strike on the people is painful, but it is a necessary evil that must produce good fruit. The rubbishers claim that the strikes are used to pursue selfish agenda.
Because we are not always on the streets, we allow our issues to build up. We've been having a lot of discussions, and there are communiques to back them up with the government on various issues affecting the industry. And on this year alone, we've had about 6 various meetings. And we had expected that within certain timelines that we have set for ourselves, some of the issues will have been resolved. But we discovered that we are going into 2015 still carrying the same burden of challenges. And the industry is crying, bleeding on some of them.
What really is a problem in the industry?
Even Nigerians know that the industry is sick. And there are a lot of national questions around why things are not working here. When you look at the other sectors that are less important and they are getting quite a lot of attention. So, and they know that the real drivers of the economy is the oil and gas sector. Look at the various state governments. They are saying that their revenue is being dwindling and they are unable to meet their developmental challenges. And all this money is also coming from the oil and gas. And they can also see very clearly, without anybody telling you, that prices of crude oil drop is already affecting how our budget is going to be managed and how government is really going to drive the nation come 2015.
Oluoshile advised Nigerians to stop looking at the oil industry workers as enemies of the country instead of playing politics with the issues at hand.
So these are not things that people should begin to fathom, things that really that are not as significant as these major areas of concern. So we believe strongly that we should not take trivial issues to becloud bigger pictures that affect the industry.
The problem, according to the Pangasan, time will obviously snowball into other sectors of the economy because of the large reliance on oil.
Up to today, Nigerians can see that we are almost totally dependent on importation of petroleum products, whereas we are selling our crude at any price that the international community is dictating it. And we can also begin to look inward and say that, can we have our means of optimizing the benefit of hydrocarbon resources by having our own strategies, just like other countries like Ghana and the rest of them have been able to minimize their dependence. Small countries that are producing just about 18,000 barrels or 30,000 barrels per day are doing better.
So where do we go from here?
And the more we talk about these things, the more we are able to find a solution to our problem. And because we are keeping quiet, because those that are supposed to lead in this discussion and be able to initiate directions are not reaching out, and we are getting worried. If we keep quiet, before you know it, everybody will lose their job and there will be no hope.
The nation will, in the face of continuous downward slide in the prices of oil, battle for solutions including resorting to the non-oil producing sector as austerity measures take shape.
Despite the suspension of the 3-day warning strike by oil workers early Friday, commuters in Ekiti State are still agonizing over fuel scarcity. The situation is getting worse, especially in Ado. Long queues at petrol stations have become the order of the day. Motorists and commuters have accused petrol station owners of hoarding fuel. On their part, the petrol station owners are blaming the crash of the naira at the foreign market for impediment in importation of the product. Rashid monitored the situation in Ado Ekiti. He filed in this report.
As the Yuletide season draws near, Businesses as usual are expected to record bumper sales. For petrol stations across the country, the 3-day oil workers' warning strike suspended on Friday had positioned them for Naira harvest, as scarcity of the product always comes with inflated cost. This was the experience in places like Abuja, Kaduna, Nasarawa, and some states across the Federation. The ongoing fuel scarcity in Ekiti, however, leaves much to be desired, especially ahead the Yuletide. In Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, many filling stations are under lock and key, while the few that have opened for business are either not selling or dispensing the product amidst long queues, leaving consumers in agony. Tempers flare as commuters and consumers of the product in Ekiti accuse fuel dealers of hoarding.
Na Ekiti states, na only Ekiti states. The other states, where did the other states? It did Akure, it did Osun State, it did Lagos State. But now Ekiti generally no fuel.
We are not hoarding fuel. If you have fuel, we sell it. If you don't have, we don't have. That's for our own station.
So, what then is the reason for the ongoing scarcity of the product in Ekiti after the oil workers' strike has suspended?
The landing cost of the fuel now is high. So for the stations to buy at the higher price, pay for the transport of 7 naira and bought the fuel for 91 naira 50 kobo to make it 99 naira or 98 naira 50 kobo. And people who expect you to sell it at the rate of 97 naira, they found it very, very difficult. So nobody is doing his business to run at loss.
The development has left many commuters who are traveling for the Christmas celebration stranded at motor parks across the state capital.
I guess there's no fuel or something. I don't know what's happening.
And what do you feel like is the problem?
I guess Ekiti generally has a problem because I don't know why there's no fuel, why there's fuel in Lagos. I don't know their problem.
And now
Now I can't wait for me to just get to Lagos.
Obviously, there is the expected price to pay as transport fares have shot up, leaving commuters with many more complaints and bitterness.
Expecting it to be like 1,250. Suddenly we are hearing 2,000 naira. And it's not really good by us. We are not liking that actually.
But even if you have a vehicle now, which is going to take 2,000 from you, will you?
No choice, because I got to get my house, get to Lagos actually.
And for the Ekiti people, it appears that tough times are beginning to surface even as the belt tightening measures as a result of the dwindling oil prices lurk in the corner. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Still on Ekiti. Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, who famously won his election last June by distributing stomach infrastructure to voters, has carried on with his policy into the Christmas season. Between Thursday and Saturday, he had distributed over 80,000 birds and 100,000 bags of rice to Ekiti citizens, according to a statement from his press office. He also doled out cash, according to his chief press secretary, Idu Adelusi. While some besieged the governor's office to collect their legacies, others had theirs delivered to their doorsteps. On Saturday, as early as 10 a.m., Fayose and his team started distributing the package to the people who kept steaming into his office. He later moved to the marketplaces with the same package, designating all the 16 local government areas as centers for the distribution. Fayose told journalists that what takes priority in his heart daily is the welfare of the people of the state. Asked why he gave out cash, he said the need to buy pepper, salt, maggi, palm oil, etc. to cook the chicken. Those who benefited are widows, the aged, pensioners, traders and artisans. He said the exercise will continue till the Christmas day, ordering that the teachers will take their turn on Monday. Fayose appointed a special aide on stomach infrastructure when he resumed office. Meanwhile, ram dealers at the popular Kara market on the outskirts of Lagos have blamed the rise in the cost of livestock to the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast part of the country. They spoke against the backdrop of complaints by Nigerians over spiral rise in the cost of foodstuff ahead the Christmas period.
Market no move at all. everything dey silent. Every people they talk about money. Then they talk about politician. They don't release anything. So everything dey tight. And Boko Haram they cause everything. Because everything where they come from north, then they high.
This year market they fine, but we think say market they move because since now market is not full market. So anybody where you want come buy, make you quick come buy market.
It's moving gradually, but people have not been coming in so much as we're supposed to expect. It's better the government should see something to deal to it, because due to the messes, people are complaining so much.
It's CoreTV Prime Time News. We take another break and return with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Steve.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News. It's CoreTV Prime Time News, and now it's time for business. Nigeria depends on crude exports for 70% of government's revenue and 90% of its foreign exchange earnings. The government said plummeting crude prices have put huge strain on revenue and have announced a series of measures to respond to the crisis. President Goodluck Jonathan warned that Nigeria could be forced to cut further the amount of oil revenue it uses for government spending if the global crude price continues to plummet. The benchmark oil price has been slashed to $65 from $78 earlier this year. Revenue from oil exports up to that price will go into general government spending. U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate for January delivery was trading at $54.84 on Friday, while deals for Brent crude for February were done at $59 to 59 cents. Global mobile phone manufacturer BlackBerry Limited on Friday reported a small adjustment in its third quarter profit and returned to positive cash flow position. The adjustment, which led to temporary respite, however, did not last long as its listed shares fell as revenue declined to $793 million from $1.19 billion recorded a year earlier. Analysts had earlier expected $931.5 million. BlackBerry's listed shares fell 5.6% to $9.50 in pre-market trading. Cash flow was $43 million in the third quarter, while the company had negative cash flow of $36 million in the second quarter. BlackBerry had said it was targeting break-even cash flow by the end of the fiscal year in February 2015. BlackBerry launched its long-awaited classic smartphone on Wednesday, hoping to help win back market share and woo customers still using older versions of its physical keyboard devices. The phone resembles its one widely popular bold and curved handsets. A turnover of 5.4 billion shares worth of 46.47 billion naira in 22,986 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange, as compared to 1.810 billion shares valued at 28.918 billion naira that the exchange hands last week in 20,677 deals. However, market capitalization indices increased by 3.39%. That's 328 billion naira after 3 consecutive days of loss. And now sports. General Secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation, Musa Amadu, has warned Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia on the invitation of overseas-based players, insisting that it will be very difficult to get the players released for their programs. Amadu said European clubs are not obliged to release their players to the Dream Team for competitions outside the FIFA free window. Also wants the Beijing 2008 silver winning coach to focus more on the home-based players and take a cue from his predecessor, Austin Eguavon. The Dream Team 6 have gone on break for the Christmas celebrations, but are expected to resume back in the first week of January. Nigeria women's senior national side have moved 3 places to 32nd in the latest Coca-Cola FIFA rankings released on Friday, 19th of December 2014. The Edwin Okon tutored side won the 9th edition of the African Women's Championships in Namibia. That explains the improvement in their ranking. The Super Falcons remain the best-ranked nation in the African continent with 1,639 points. Falcons group opponents at the 2015 FIFA World Cup United States, Sweden and Australia are ranked 2nd, 5th and 10th respectively. David Silva scored twice as Manchester City joined Chelsea at the top of the table with victory over Crystal Palace. The reigning champions had struggled to break down a resilient Palace side until the Spaniard made the breakthrough soon after half-time. Aston Villa held Manchester United to a 1-1 draw. QPR came from 2 goals down to beat West Brom 3-2. Southampton 3-0 over Everton. Tottenham had a 2-1 victory, Burnley, while sits on the relegation zone with a 2-0 defeat to West Ham. Olympic swimming legend Michael Phelps was given a 1-year suspended sentence and 18 months probation Friday after pleading guilty to drunk driving and speeding. Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time, was also ordered by Maryland District Court judge to continue receiving treatment for alcoholism after the September incident. While on probation, he cannot touch alcohol before driving, but he can leave the United States to train and compete so long as he keeps up his treatment program. Wearing a dark suit and glasses, the tall, lanky 29-year-old Phelps recalled how he checked himself into intensive rehab immediately after his September 30 arrest.
Some of the biggest learning experiences that I've ever had. You know, finding a lot about myself, and you know, for this day, it's I'm happy to be moving forward, and you know, I'll continue to grow from this and continue on my path of recovery, and you know, the next couple of years are going to be very challenging. I'm very pleased and happy that I have the great support that I have around me. Thanks, guys.
And now outside Nigeria, Chinese President Xi Jinping warned Hong Kong and Macau on Saturday to remember that they are part of one China as pro-democracy campaigners in both semi-autonomous territories call for free leadership elections. Security has been tight during Xi's 2-day visit to Macau to mark the 15th anniversary of the gambling hub's handover from Portugal, just days after police cleared the last remaining protest sites in neighboring Hong Kong. Reporters on the airport tarmac waiting for Xi's arrival in Macau were not allowed to hold umbrellas, the symbol of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement, and were handed raincoats instead. A small group of protesters had also attempted to work to where the Chinese president was sitting while holding yellow umbrellas. Police, however, stopped them, saying the area was restricted. The president warned both territories on Saturday against a misguided approach. Similar miscontent over corruption and social inequality partly underpins the Hong Kong movement. Macau is only part of China where casino gambling is legal and has until now depended on high rollers from the mainland. CoreTV Primetime News. Just before we close, a recap of our major stories. We told you that former Kaduna State Governor Balarabe Musa has blamed the ruling PDP and opposition APC for Nigeria's lack of progress. There was also a report that the All Progressives Congress has strongly condemned the act of intolerance by Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Hassan over victimization of its members in the state. And lastly, Pengasson scribe Bayo Olushile said suspended oil workers' strike was staged in the interest of Nigerians. That's our show for tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Gift or Gete. Do have a lovely night rest. Good night.